Hi, my name is Danny Hawk. This is my message to the United States Congress for the Law Enforcement Abuse Criminal Court Corruption. My issue is with the Cobb County State Court, as well as the Cobb County Solicitor General, Sherry Boston, the Cobb County Judge, Alvin T. Wong. All of this involved a ticket that I had gotten in 2010, August about the 23rd of 2010, in the city of Atlanta, but within the jurisdiction of the DeKalb County. The reason why this is for me to prosecute, because the DeKalb County State Court previously have done some abusive, malicious, abusive process, criminal process previously. So this particular case, when I found out on Friday, March the 2nd, 2012, around 3:57 p.m., I found out by looking online on the DeKalb County, DeKalb County online judicial system, that they had put in an arraignment, as well as they filed an accusation on the 27th of February of 2012, and that they had filed an arraignment to be had that coming Monday, March the 5th, 2012. The issue with this situation was, by law, they were supposed to have given me a 5-day notice of the arraignment. They never sent me no 5 days notice for me to be arraigned, letting me know that I needed to be arraigned. My issue with this situation is it violates my due process to notice of an arraignment. And without that 5 days notice, I could not file any motions that I needed to file, like motion to produce, notice of discovery, list of witnesses, names, and other type of motions. So by denying me that notice, 5 days notice, and then they also put me in a jam, because had I not looked online that Friday, I would not have known that I need to be in court that following Monday. So therefore, I could have been warrant could have been issued for my arrest. So I ever since the issue, I argue that the arraignments in this case on March the 5th, 2012, before Judge Alvin Wong in the state court of DeKalb County is void and voidable, as a result that he never directed me formally to appear in the state court with the notice. Even though I appeared in that court, I never waived my right to a formal notice. Again, once I said, without the proper notice, I could not file any motion, any demurs, or any special pleas or anything regarding the criminal matters. I could not object to the motion for demand a list of witnesses, discovery to produce, to suppress, motion in limine, as well as motion to squash the arraignment. Because all motions and special pleas shall be made filed at the time or set by law, therefore extended by judge in writing prior to trial. Anyway, I filed that motion. I filed various motions with the courts, like motion to set aside the arraignment, motion to recuse, motion to stay the proceedings. But the judge denied all these motions without, first of all, when I filed a motion, I served the other part, the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia did not oppose my motion, did not file any counter motion. Therefore, by law, my motion supposed to have been rendered right, or because there was no counter motion, without an objection to my motion, and then my motion should have stood as filed, because when the other party did not file a counter motion, then technically by law, my motion that I filed is supposed to be that there's no objection to what I said in my motion to the facts as stated in my motion. Well, the judge Alvin T. Wong, when I went to his court in April, he in a very nasty manner before his court, he made some laughing gestures before the court in a full-packed courthouse. When I told him he had no lack of jurisdiction over the speeding charge, he got very indignant. He said some nasty things to me. When I told him I had lack of jurisdiction, he asked me, there was this new term that, when those people that come to court and they said lack of jurisdiction, I can't think of the name, but he had trying to say, was I one of those?
Sovereign vexation.
Yes, exactly. He asked me was I a sovereign citizen, because the sovereign citizen movement, they're the ones that say lack of jurisdiction. So when I told him lack of jurisdiction, he got very terse in a very nasty manner before a packed courthouse. He just motion denied, without even reading my motion. And I had heard from my cousin, who's a sheriff deputy, from another deputy, that when I filed my motion, when I served my motion to the solicitor, assistant solicitor who was handling my case, they told me that they asked the judge should they respond to my motion. But the judge told them that they didn't have to respond to my motion. He just took my motion while he was up on the bench, denied in a very nasty manner, and he got very indignant towards me. He was very terse. He was not cordial. He was not professional, and I left the courtroom that day. That was in April, the day of the arraignment. The second arraignment was first arraignment was on March the 5th. The other one was on April the 7th. And the judge, like I said, he got very nasty. He was mean. He since then he issued an order on April the 24th. In that order, he did not tell me how I filed a motion for him to certify all of his orders. He never ruled on my motion for certification. When he ruled on the order on April the 24th, before he technically supposed to rule on my motion to recuse, before he ruled on any orders, before he ruled on any other orders I had filed, like the motion to stay, motion to set aside arraignment, and so he never ruled on my motion for recusal before ruling on those other motions. So I filed my application for discretionary appeal in the Court of Appeals of Georgia on May the 23rd, within 30 days of April the 24th order. As I also filed my notice of appeal in the State Court of Georgia on April the 27th, divesting him of jurisdiction. The case went to appeal in the Court of Appeals of Georgia, whereby in the Court of Appeals of Georgia, I filed my application for discretionary appeal, asking them to allow me to appeal. They did not allow me to appeal. They denied my appeal, but I did file reconsideration. While my motion for reconsideration was filed, Judge Alvin T. Wong issued a notice to appear at a continuing jury trial on the jury trial to come to court on July the 15th. July the 13th. And I didn't show up at court on July 13th because I felt like when the Court of Appeal had jurisdiction of my case, no remediator had come back from the Court of Appeals of Georgia. Therefore, jurisdiction still was vested within the Court of Appeals of Georgia. Nonetheless, Judge Alvin T. Wong issued a bench warrant for my arrest on July the 30th. Now, on July the 30th, I had asked Judge Wong to rescind his bench warrant, and he ended up putting me in jail. I was arrested on September the 5th, and I spent approximately from September the 5th to the 12th, those number of days in the Cobb County Jail. And while in the Cobb County Jail, on Friday, September the 7th, I was assaulted by an inmate while I was in jail. While I was in jail, an inmate assaulted me over some tissue, hit a pair of glasses that I have on, these glasses which I get from the VA, Veteran Administration Medical Center in Decatur, Georgia. When the individual hit me, he knocked the glasses, arm off, caused the arm to cut my eye, whereby I had to get 7 stitches here while at the Cobb County Jail. Okay, I stood there in the Cobb County Jail approximately 9 days, from September the 5th September the 4th until the September the 12th, whereby when I went to Judge Wong, he released me on that day. Now my case still stands was in the Supreme Court of Georgia, but now Judge Wong is now trying to try me again. He's trying to hold jury trial in January around the 22nd. But my issue with Judge Wong is the speeding ticket that I had gotten did not meet the mandates of the OCGA. Although on OCGA 46181 for the speeding, when the new law came out in July the 1st of 2010, under the super speeders law, that all officers who stop a motorist must include not only the posted speed that the alleged person was alleged to have gone, as well as the posted speed, but they must state whether it was on a 2-lane road or a state highway. On my traffic citation, there was no mention whether it was on a 2-lane road or a state highway. So this is why I've always felt like there was no jurisdiction for them to charge me, because again, when the law came into play on July the 1st of 2010, the speeding ticket that I got in August the 23rd did not have anything regarding whether the speeding that they said I was supposed to had committed, whether it was committed on a 2-lane road or state highway. Therefore, I'm asking Congress if you would please intervene on my behalf, because Judge Alvin T. Wong, State Court of DeKalb County, and the Solicitor General's Office of DeKalb County had for the last 9 or 10 years has been, this is the second time that they have committed abusive criminal process, abusive process against me. In another case that I had before them, they did the same process. They did that in another case when they committed DUI, would allow prosecutor and the police officer to try to say I was DUI, but yet they did not include they did not give me the GBI, Department of Forensic Services and toxicological reports, which did not have my names on it for that month of September of 2002.